advantage on Saadatu Yaro, a staff of CBN, by awarding a contract for the procurement of 43 vehicles worth 1.2 billion naira between 2018 and 2020. Having pleaded not guilty to all the counts, the presiding judge, Justice Hamza Muazu, granted bail to Emefiele to the tune of 300 million naira with two sureties in like sum. While he was remanded in Kuje, Emefiele was mandated to deposit all his traveling documents with the registrar of the court and must remain within the Abuja Municipal Area Council. The spokesman of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT Command of the Nigerian Correctional Service, Amos Duza, confirmed that the center has released Emefiele. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State has commended the steps taken so far by President Bola Tinubu's administration, believing they are capable of repositioning the country's economy on the path of growth. The Lagos State governor, who spoke to State House correspondents after his visit to the president in Lagos, believes the initial decisions of the current administration have indicated good intent for a greater country. And Governor Sanwo-Olu, who, however, acknowledged the consequences of the hard economic decisions of the federal government, was hopeful that Nigerians will begin to feel the benefits going into the new year.
You've seen them transverse up and down of this country. You've seen them set, narratives about their various ministries, agencies. But has the work been finished yet? No. It's a 4-year tenure, right? So we're saying, Kaiser, 7 months, like you said. They are on the right track. Will we win, the economic battle of this country? Yes, I think we will. Will it be faster than we thought? That is prosperity to judge. But I think truly, really, we need to commend him. We need to commend, the very, very tough, hard, economic choices that he has made. All of the international rating agencies have also commended, positive, outlook for the country. And in my view, that, enhance, investors' confidence. And indeed, what you begin to see is there will be a lot of foreign direct investments that will happen over time.
And ahead of the Christmas celebration, the federal government has declared Monday 25th, Tuesday 26th December 2023 and Monday 1st January 2024 as public holidays to mark the festivity and celebration this year. The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, on behalf of government, felicitates Christians and all Nigerians at home and abroad on these occasions. In a statement, Tunji Ojo urges Christians to emulate the life of Jesus Christ and imbibe his teachings of humility, service, compassion, patience, peace, and righteousness. The minister warns Nigerians to be security conscious and report any suspicious persons or activities to the nearest security agencies, and he implored all citizens to remain focused, promising that 2024 will be a better year with the renewed hope agenda of the president. Now, the lessons of love, sacrifice, and humility taught by the birth of Jesus Christ at Christmas are precious for societal growth and better learned as little children. Nigerian's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu made this point at the Children's Christmas Luncheon in the State House, where she once again donned the cap of a teacher to tell Christmas stories to homeless children. State House correspondent NTAi has more. All right, we'll bring you NTAi's reports in our subsequent bulletin. Moving on, 250 elderly citizens in Abia have benefited from the Renewed Hope Initiative Elderly Support Scheme of the wife of the President, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, wife of Abia State Governor Priscilla Oti, who distributed the items on behalf of the First Lady, noted that the program was designed to provide relief and succor to the citizens, to the senior citizens. Ifoma Ndu Koli reports on this.
The essence of the scheme is to cushion the effects of the present economic challenges and alleviate the burdens of the senior citizens, especially during this festive period. Dwelling on the theme, Better Days Ahead, wife of Abia State Governor Priscilla Oti, explained that the Economic Empowerment Program was born out of commitment to the well-being of the elderly citizens in Nigeria. She noted that the scheme was designed to support 250 elderly citizens aged 65 and above in all the 36 states of the Federation, as well as veterans from the Defense and Police Officers' Wives Association.
This Economic Empowerment Program is born out of a steadfast commitment to the well-being of our elderly citizens, and it marks a significant stride in our collective pursuit of a more inclusive and compassionate society.
Each beneficiary received 100,000 naira check, a bag of rice, and other items. Some of them described the gesture as a relief and commended the donors for remembering them.
I am very much happy. This is my first time to receive such a gift from government.
I have nobody staying with me, so this is a very big relief.
The beneficiaries were later urged by the governor's wife to prioritize their health and strengthen their bonds with loved ones so as to live life to the fullest. In Umuahia, Ifeoma Ndu-Okolie.
And basking in the joy of the season, the National Senior Citizen Center visited Chibiri community in Kuje Area Council to distribute food items as part of support for the elderly this Christmas in collaboration with the Microfinance Bank. And Elizabeth Omori reports that Director General of the Center assured beneficiaries that the federal government will not relent in making their lives better with friendly policies in place.
That was the mood at the village square as they waited in expectation of the largesse from the center. The gesture is aimed at alleviating the economic burden on older persons in society.
We are very happy to see you people for this exercise. And inshallah, we are giving you people full support.
Director General of the National Senior Citizens Center, Dr. M.M. Omokaro, hinted that the federal government is exploring national programs to improve access to quality food, health care, and income for self-support.
What we have, number one, is that we have love and respect for our senior citizens. And we believe in our hearts that our senior citizens, our old people, they have toiled and worked for this country. And in their old age, they should not be abandoned.
She assured them that their community would not be left out in livelihood support programs. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
Few days away to the celebration of Christmas, a political organization on the platform of the governing All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Foro, has distributed 6 trucks of 600 bags of 50 kg of rice to the North Central Geopolitical Zone, including the Federal Capital Territory. And the national coordinator, represented by Khalifa Mansour, says the initiative was born out of the commitment of concerned APC chieftains to support the palliative efforts of the Tinubu's presidency.
That this government belongs to them. This government knows their contribution. This government wants to appreciate their contribution. So that's why it's determined to bring this palliative to their doorsteps.
We are encouraged to support and also pray for each government. It's a thing of joy. We pray that God will honor the labor of their hands and keep this government.
If things are done this manner, I want to believe that the common man will have no reason to complain.
Foro assures sustainability of the intervention program, especially at the grassroots, and appeal for total support for the Tinubu-led administration for robust economic and infrastructural transformations. The National Task Group on Sanitation, NTGS, has validated and declared an additional 12 local government areas as an open defecation free. NTGS, a multi-sectoral platform involving line ministries, agencies, non-governmental organizations, networks and the media, made the declaration during its December meeting in Abuja. In a statement, the Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Utsev, says Kano State has 7 of the 12 local government areas. Katsina State has 2, while Bayelsa, Delta, and Ogun States all have 1. And the latest record brings the total number of open defecation-free local government areas in Nigeria to 117. In other news, the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Fola Shade Emieson, has tasked newly appointed permanent secretaries to drop their ambitions and work towards aligning with the priorities of the present administration's Renewed Hope agenda. Hamid Jabani reports that the head of the Civil Service gave the charge and a retreat for the permanent secretaries in Abuja.
The retreat is to acquaint them with the presidential mandate, expose them to their duties, strengthen their performance as to be able to work as permanent secretaries and share knowledge with experienced permanent secretaries. Head of Civil Service of the Federation, Falashade Yemieso, directed them to take ownership of all reform programs initiated by the Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, as well as to drive the Renew Hope agenda and not disappoint the political leadership that gave them the opportunity as well as the service, while urging them to ensure harmonious and ethical working relationship with their ministers and all stakeholders. She reminded them that they are responsible for identifying and dealing promptly with all identified obstacles without unnecessary excuses. The newly appointed were taken through a series of lectures and case studies that will help them enhance their performance in their various schedules, which include enabling implementation of the Federal Civil Service Strategy and Implementation Plan FCC 25, building effective working relationship with ministers, National Assembly members, and other political stakeholders, public procurement issues, risks, and mitigation measures. Others are personal health management for better productivity, operational guidelines to public finance management, and building effective labor relations for industrial harmony and national productivity. Hamad Jabani, NTA News.
The Federal Ministry of Environment has expressed concern about the recent illegal killings of elephants and other wildlife species across the country, involving the killings of 2 elephants in Kalabalge, Borno State, and the killing of another elephant by a professor from the University of Ibadan, Oyo State. The Minister of State for Environment, Isaac Salako, while briefing newsmen in Abuja about the development, said the ministry also received similar unpleasant information on the killing of 2 booted eagles that migrated from Europe but met their deaths in both Kebbi and Sokoto states. Efforts, he said, are being made by ministries to retrieve the transmitters attached to these birds and return them to the researchers in Europe.
Environment, under the leadership, is launching a thorough investigation into the circumstances surrounding the tragic event involving the killing of these elephants by the local government chairman and the military, to ensure that those responsible are held accountable for their actions.
Committed to environmental conservation and the protection of wildlife, and strongly condemns such actions that undermine the fragile balance of the ecosystem. Nigeria, he said, is a signatory to international conventions, especially the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora Hunting, capturing, possessing, trading or killing of these wild species, he said, are offenses that are liable to prosecution according to the city's regulations, saying the Nigerian government will not condone any such acts by any persons or communities involved. You're watching the news live on NTA International. More reports ahead. Stay tuned.
this holiday?
Better jollof for fire. Now that one they give me joy.
Me, as I deal with my correct customer, they watch correct African magic film.
My joy is when I'm on holiday and getting my favorite gifts.
Popsy, you know, son of football they bring you a pass.
Yes. Our joy, not my joy.
Yes, sir. Now all-round joy with better Naija shows, Premier League football, kids shows, and plenty more. Sharply recharge your Go TV today and enjoy this holiday. Go TV, love it.
Welcome back. A West African delegation led by the leaders of Senegal and Ghana was in Sierra Leone on Saturday to lay the groundwork for a security mission in the wake of an alleged coup attempt in November. Senegal's President Macky Sall and Ghana's President Nana Akufo-Addo are both in Freetown to discuss a security situation with Sierra Leone's President Julius Maada Bio. Kolo Mohammed reports. Bring you details in subsequent bulletin on these developing stories. Initial results from a presidential poll in DR Congo began to trickle in on Friday after shambolic elections spread over several days, which the authorities deemed successful. And the Action's Electoral Commissioner Seni announced results for Congolese voters living in South Africa, Belgium, France, Canada, and the United States. And the results represent a minuscule proportion of the overall votes cast, but they indicated a provisional lead for incumbent President Felix Tshisekedi, who is running for a second term. Kolo Mohammed reports.
A privileged but mineral-rich Democratic Republic of Congo held 4 concurrent polls on Wednesday to elect the president, lawmakers for national and provincial assemblies, as well as local councillors. The Electoral Commission said that no polling station was authorized to open on Friday. However, voting continued in some places on Friday, according to officials, especially in the more remote areas of the vast country, the size of Western Europe. In a preliminary statement on Friday, the Keita Center, which observed the elections, alleged that there had been serious irregularities at 21 out of 109 polling stations it visited. The ballot had proceeded relatively well in the other 88. In 24 polling stations, its observers identified technical problems with the electronic voting devices, the US-based group added.
19 décès ont été reliés à des actes de violence.
Have been linked to electoral violence, including 2 candidates. Inflammatory rhetoric during the election campaign contributed to hate speech online. In some places, Keita Center observers noted an abuse of state resources in favor of candidates running for the incumbent government.
While the Congolese government acknowledged delays late on Wednesday, it hailed the efforts of voters and the Electoral Commission. Results of the presidential election in the Congolese diaspora were published on Friday night. The Electoral Commission is set to start announcing provisional results for the DRC's 25 provinces on Saturday. Around 44 million Congolese in the nation of 100 million were registered to vote, and more than 100,000 candidates were running for various positions. There are fears that tensions will spike when the results are announced. The DRC is a turbulent country with a long history of authoritarian rule and conflict. Kolo Mohammed, NTA News.
Exiled Senegalese opposition figure Karim Wade, an ex-minister and son of former head of state Abdullahi Wade, Saturday said he had filed papers to contest presidential election in February. Wade's Democratic Party had designated him as its candidate, but doubts had remained due to his sentencing to a jail term for corruption in 2015, 3 years after current President Macky Sall took office. Sall pardoned him in 2016, and Wade has been living in exile in Qatar. I'm happy to announce that my candidacy for the presidential election on February 25th was submitted overnight, Wade said on X, formerly known as Twitter. Wade's criminal record had prevented him from standing in the 2019 election, which saw Sall re-elected. But in August, Parliament voted to restore the eligibility of Wade and other opposition figure. Former Dakar Mayor Khalifa Sall, following President Sall's initiation of a political dialogue that was boycotted by various opposition groups, and Khalifa Sall, unrelated to the president, was imprisoned in 2017 and given a 5-year jail term for fraud, or released in 2019 after receiving a pardon. Like Wade, more than 200 candidates have filed papers to contest the presidential election. Now, the United Nations Health Agency has linked the deaths of at least 70 children in West Africa to cough syrup made by an Indian pharmaceutical. Details with Kolo Mohammed.
India's maiden pharmaceuticals, Nourish Kumar Goval, whose cough syrup had been linked to the deaths of children in the Gambia, denied it had tampered with test samples or bribed officials to do so, as alleged in a complaint under investigation by local health officials. An investigator with the state of Haryana's Food and Drug Administration said he was close to finishing the probe into whether a state drug regulator was bribed to switch samples. The said samples had been tested by the Indian government that contradicted the World Health Organization's findings of toxic substances in the cough syrups. A joint director of the manufacturing company, Maiden, Gangadev Singh, said neither him nor any representative of the company had been called to appear before the investigator, closing in on the assertion that a competitor was behind the complaint but did not name anyone he suspects. The World Health Organization has linked syrups made by Maiden Group to the deaths of 70 children in Gambia last year, but India's government says subsequent tests at an Indian government laboratory showed the syrups were not toxic.
WHO has today issued a medical product alert for 4 contaminated medicines identified in the Gambia that have been potentially linked with acute kidney injuries and 66 deaths among children.
2 sources with direct knowledge of the matter said the Indian government was in no hurry to reopen any of the 3 Indian pharmaceutical factories, including Maiden's factory in Haryana, linked to at least 141 deaths since last year in Gambia, Uzbekistan, and Cameroon. One of the sources added that no decision was likely before next May's general election, given the risk of a negative public reaction. Kolo Mohammed, NTA News.
Katsina State Governor Diko Umaru Rada says creating a society where citizens live without fear of any form of violence is the collective resolve of his administration. He made the commitment while signing into law the Violence Against Persons Prohibition, VAP, and Child Protection laws, followed by the inauguration of the State Steering Committee on Gender-Based Violence at the Government House. Awal Haliru reports.
The committee is constituted in line with the efforts of the state government to eradicating the surge of gender violence in the state. Katsina State is guided by the National Gender Policy Formation on the Steering Committee, where the State Ministry of Women Affairs is to coordinate all gender violence-related matters. On this, Governor Dukorada emphasized that the leadership of the committee is crucial in ensuring comprehensive approach towards addressing the issue.
I implore the committee to collaborate and work closely with religious and traditional leaders, media and civil society organizations. Their influence is profound and their endorsement to our cause will amplify our message. In the battle against gender-based violence, we need to engage the hearts and the minds of our communities, and involvement of those leaders is pivotal.
The governor appreciated the State House of Assembly for swift action in passing the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, which he identifies as relevant in the fight against all forms of violence in the state. The committee has the Commissioner for Women Affairs as chairman and members drawn from some ministries, the judiciary, civil society groups, development partners, and security, among others.
If we are security authorities, if someone is being cruel to animal, the law is there.
The law also in its progressive nature, looking at the security situation in the state, has provided for non-state actors, such as the activities of bandits, are covered under the law. To leave no stone unturned in turning our duty to protect and empower citizens irrespective of gender or age.
The inauguration of the committee witnessed the unveiling of Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law and the Child Protection Law by the governor. In Katsina, Awal Halluru, NTA News.
And next is Sunday's weather prospect for Nigerian and other world cities. That's the news. Many thanks for watching. I am Comfort Amodu.